Hey Brickmaniacs, welcome back to another Designer Studio episode. Today we're taking a closer look at the Kennedy Space Center Fire Striker designed by John Canepa, which, as you can already see from here, is a beautiful model when it comes to all the printing. And, well, to be honest, we don't get to deal with red very much, so that's kind of cool to see.
No.
A little white and red action.
Right. I don't have to change color.
Right, yeah, it pops up off the shirt, exactly. So I got Dan joining me here to talk a little bit about this build in studio because we haven't seen it with any of its printing or anything done yet. All we had was a little look at the prototype. So, I mean, you had a chance to play with it here. This is kind of your first chance to look at it. What would you notice off the bat?
I did get to play with it a little bit when it was being built.
Okay.
But this was the first time altogether. These were built. They went out to the store so quick that I didn't even get a chance to look at it. Really. So yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Like, ooh, look at all the cool things it can do. So I'm impressed. This is a good model. If you don't know what the Striker is, this is a emergency crash rescue vehicle that they would have at like airports and
right.
you know. They're generally called a Striker. That's actually an Oshkosh vehicle family name. So Oshkosh out of Wisconsin makes these things. If it looks like a military vehicle, it's because it's very similar.
Yeah, right.
It's very similar frame style, everything as you know, the Hemet, all these other like military vehicles. This particular model has 3 axles. They come in all different sizes.
Even bigger than this?
Oh
one?
yeah, there's ones with 4 axles.
Oh
yeah,
dang,
yeah.
that's cool.
So this is a good mid-size one. This would be representative of a lot of airports.
Sure.
You'd see something similar. We just want to do the Kennedy Space Center because we're doing Space Race Month.
Yeah.
And it's a good tie-in. So it gives us, it kind of like we get to do the fire truck that we wanted to do. Fits in with the space race theme. So there's a lot of like tie-ins that we wanted to cover all at once. This also opens the door that we can do several more of these in the future. This being maybe just the lead kit of a whole series of fire trucks that
cool.
Airport rescue, crash rescue fire trucks. So.
Well, if they look anything like this, you've definitely kicked off the lineup with a super gorgeous model because obviously there's all kind of the brick build intricacies that John's kind of known for when it comes to that stuff. But then Slam went ahead and just covered this thing in absolutely beautiful printing.
Right, and this we took the actual pictures of the fire truck and tried to replicate it as best as we could without going actually too overboard with the printing because we could have gone further into detail.
I suppose there's a lot of stuff going on.
Anybody who's been following Brickmania for a while knows that printing is money. The more printing on there, the more it's going to cost. That really affects the price. So we as much as we want to go, dive in 120%, we also have to reel ourselves back.
Where's that mid-ground where it still looks beautiful, but you've got a little bit more budget-friendly
So the
kit.
brick-built striping in there is a compromise. So we, but everything else, I mean, everything just pops, dude. The printing is so nice on this thing. So. But printing aside, I'll show you some more. There's printing inside and outside.
Yeah, and tons of play features. I mean, obviously, it's a fire striker. It's got to do stuff, right?
Right. So this is a crash rescue vehicle. So, well, first of all, there's a boom on the top, and the purpose of the boom is like if there's an aircraft on fire, obviously you want to be able to get up over it. So you have an arm. It has a nozzle for water, and I'll just show you that right here. And you basically you can adjust the boom to wherever you want it to be. I think they could actually take this boom and actually poke a hole in the aircraft and shoot water inside of it.
Oh, wow.
Robotic hit. So the guys inside are pretty much working safely.
So it's a jousting fire truck? That's incredible.
Yeah. Another cool thing that John did is he actually connected the boom to the steering mechanism. If you look at that, you can see
look at the wheels. Sure.
So you can actually use it to actually steer the vehicle so if you're playing around with it.
Which that is a play feature that John has had in previous Striker models that he's done for Brickmania. So kind of cool to see how he's integrated it into a very, very different than the military version.
Put this back together. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this boom off so I can get access to the inside.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool here. I sort of undid this while I was playing around with it. But you have the roof comes off here, and you can get inside the actual driver compartment. You can see that it does come with 2 figures. There's a printed dashboard in there. That's pretty darn cool. It comes with a little fire extinguisher. Let me pull these guys out. Oops.
I did that same thing with the mirror.
Knock the mirror off. Yeah.
They're at a nice detail with using the brick arms. Those was it monopod, right?
Yeah.
To be able to do that, it does really capture the detail, but you do have to have that like side plate hinge in order to make it work. So it's kind of a compromise.
And I've got big fat fingers. So.
Well, I feel that.
Snicker bar fingers don't help. So it does come with 2 fully printed firemen, and these are pretty cool. Or fire people, I should say.
I love the texture going on here. We'll take a little closer look at these figures later on.
And you do get this cool little fire extinguisher.
Oh, is there a little brick built thing going on there?
It is. It's cool. It's printed too. So look at that little fire extinguisher. So those are cool little details, and other details that are on this truck that I thought was cool. besides all the obvious printing and stuff, is that these little doors on this side, there's little storage compartments. You can pop these doors off. There is equipment inside the bays. I mean, you could store extra firemen in there if you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, if you were doing an airport mock and you wanted this thing like opened up on there, extra firemen. I didn't even pick up on that cheese.
So yeah, the other bays are empty, but you can fill them up with your own fire equipment, apparatus and stuff. So that's pretty cool. I really like that feature.
Yeah, it's a good piece for mock integration, absolutely, because you could have some details going on there. Good place to pose your minifigures outside of their striker as well.
Yep. So you do have these cool play features. I like this kit. I like it a lot. We don't do very many fire vehicles. This is the first one of the year, actually. I think
yeah, because the Dozer, I think, was all home front, which would have been December. Yeah, cool.
So this first one of the year. We don't do this often, so when you see something like this, you should jump on it because like I said, we may do other variations in the future, but it could be a year, it could be 2 years.
Yeah, right. And if you're kicking off a collection, obviously you got to hold kit number 1 for something like that. So this is a good place to start.
Love the beefiness. It's a really cool model. Pretty happy we released it.
Yeah, absolutely. Really nice printing. It kind of checks all the boxes when you think about it. It's got cool play features. Comes with 2 minifigures, so you got a full crew that's all nice and detailed. And then there's plenty of printing going on. And obviously, John did an excellent job in capturing some of those cool, more intricate play features with some of that. So there you have it, the Kennedy Space Center Fire Striker. But let's take a little closer look at the minifigures that are also included with this kit. All right, now we're going to take a little closer look at the minifigures. But before we do that, Slam is making his first appearance here on the new Designer Studio channel. You've probably seen him before if you've been following the original channel or social media, etc. But Slam is the artist who creates the printed elements for the majority of our kits, and then recently as well has been transitioning into minifigures because, well, we're making so many of them, Landon can't do them all himself. So that is Slam's role here. So every time that we have designers on here, especially with the completed models, and they're talking about like, I love this print, look how well this cross-element printed worked, that is Slam working with our UV print department to make that stuff possible. So also when we tongue-in-cheek make jokes about like, yeah, Slam loved this and had a great time with it, he maybe didn't have such a great time and it was quite a challenge. So yeah, you've done a lot of amazing work though, and I just wanted to give people a little bit of an intro before we dove into this specific kit.
Well, thanks, Dylan. Yeah, I've been doing this for a while, and yeah, sometimes print jobs are incredibly fun and sometimes they're incredibly challenging.
Right, exactly.
But like most jobs.
Little column A, column B. But in this one in particular, not only did you do the printing for the kit, but you also did the minifigures themselves. But this, if I recall, these aren't actually your first firefighters you've done, right?
This is my 3rd set of firefighters.
Yeah, okay,
right.
Very, very cool.
Because we had the bulldozer, the CAL FIRE bulldozer, and then we had the Canadian tracked little dozer, mini dozer, which is a really cool guy. And then this is a set of
for the striker, yeah.
Our space firefighters. They don't fight fires in space. They fight
them at the
fires.
spaceport.
Yes, right.
So easier, harder for reference photos or whatever. How do you get a figure like this up off the ground?
Yeah, I always try and find as much reference material as possible. The Kennedy Space Center has a few videos on YouTube, like showing their people going through training. Of course, they have super extensive training that they have,
I bet.
all these guys have to go through. But I imagine fighting fires at a spaceport is just the elite of the elite get to
Probably
do
some
that.
unique problems that can arise at a situation like that
There's
too.
like tourists running around, plus you have rockets maybe malfunctioning somewhere that need to be put out.
Yeah, that's a dangerous mix for sure.
So the utmost of respect for these particular firefighters. I mean, all firefighters have difficult jobs.
Right.
But yeah, these guys are cool. So pleased to get to work on them. So here we did a male and a female figure, and I think it's super important that we be inclusive because they do have female firefighters.
Yeah, absolutely. And, a little variety never hurt anyone either.
and again, the props, the physical training they have to go through to be able to do that for a living is just amazing.
I bet.
So we see both the male and the female, identical loadouts. They have their turnout coats. They've got their turnout pants, their rubber boots, but they've got their firefighter boots, helmets.
That text on the back turned out really clean. I like that.
Yeah. They say KSC Fire and Rescue on the back. They don't have individual name flaps, but that flap is right around where the butt should be. Minifigures don't have butt flaps, so. Skip the name tags.
It's a bit interesting, I suppose, trying to convey that onto a oddly shaped plastic thing.
But a firefighter turnout coat is like perfect shape for a minifigure. It's like this
Nice, okay.
big square, you know, bulky thing that you have to that you work in Florida temperatures. You
Yeah,
know, it's
holy
like,
smokes.
Yeah.
It's just sounding more and more
Yeah.
brutal just talking about what these people have to do.
And minifigures with their square legs, perfect for a firefighter.
Big
pants.
baggy pants, yeah,
Yep.
all right.
Yeah, so they've got their reinforced knees. Yeah, like everything turned out pretty well. Getting that neon green is pretty tough for our printers to pull off, but I'm really happy with how like out of the gate it turns out pretty well. So they've got the reflective strips, simulated reflective striping on there.
I like how both of them look like they're veterans to a degree too. Like it definitely doesn't look like they just took these uniforms out of the box and strapped them on. You know what I mean? Like it looks like they might have had a couple of days on the job at the very least.
I cleaned these ones up as compared to the Canadians or the Cal Fire
Sure.
people because they're fighting wildfires.
Right.
That's some smoke
and dirt
smoke
and everything
and dirt,
ash
grime
yeah.
stuff. These, like in real life, these coats and pants are a lot cleaner looking in the footage that I saw.
Okay.
So I did clean them up, but it's still, I don't think you can get smoke stains out of that gear. They're just permanently grungy looking after they've had some time in the field. And yeah, this guy's showing off he's got a sweet mustache.
I love that face artwork. Absolutely
So we
phenomenal.
texture printed that tiny little mustache, and he's got his sweet sunglasses too. Yeah, based on real
guy.
faces that I have seen.
That is awesome.
And he's carrying his bottle of hot sauce. He's just chucking that back, so that's fun.
Heat does not faze this man whatsoever.
Yeah. So that little Easter egg, I'm like, what brand of hot sauce should I base this off of? Tabasco? Tabasco's got that diamond
Yeah,
logo,
right.
Which also looks a lot like a flammable warning sign. So I just
You blended the two.
blended the two. So this is just hot sauce that may spontaneously combust.
Brickmania collectors will know for sure a lot of the Easter eggs that Slam has hidden, especially in various control panels. There's some just absolute gems out there. If you haven't looked closely at yours, you may want to revisit those in the future.
I'm the one who gets to have fun.
Exactly, and I love hiding the stuff on some of these, and then in the kit in particular, like the ability to be able to do like the style of the text, and then like the American flag and the fire symbol. That was really cool too. They turned out beautiful.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that flag I did from scratch based on the one that I saw in the truck.
Wow.
Yeah, I put a lot more effort into things than I sometimes have to, but there we go. It's a really good flag print. Excited about that. The license plate is super detailed and super accurate to a U.S. government vehicle on the Kennedy Space Center base. That took some research to figure out what that would look like.
I bet.
Is this street legal? I don't know, but it's licensed.
I wouldn't
and
take
ready
the
to
Lego
go.
version on the street. the brick built for. I wouldn't do that.
But it's got all its indicators. Yes, it's totally street legal. Yeah, simulated, like we don't have metallic ink, so being able to do that gold lettering on the side. And, you know, some people would think like, it's just a matter of like finding like a close font and just slapping it up there. No, these are like hand-painted letters on the sides of the original truck.
Yeah.
So there is no font that matches that. I had to like make that myself from scratch, and it matches really well to the real life thing.
See, I think that's a great example of something that like even the designer necessarily of the kit itself or somebody building it from the outside, when they look at that, that's exactly what they think is like, well, he found the text from it and just sized it up there. Nobody would think looking at that, they're like, well, no, he had to model that flag from scratch. That text had to be built based from reference photos. Like all that kind of stuff is where the artistry of these kits comes from beyond just the composition of the bricks.
I try and go the extra mile every chance I get to. Yeah, even the KSC fire logo, I had to like create that from scratch. Yeah.
And that's a little bit one of the reasons too why you get to hide some of those Easter eggs in there is because you are building those assets, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, I have lots of room. There is no Easter egg in that logo. It's legit
Right.
for one. But yeah, and even things like this little control panel or dummied out control panel. I think those panels are covered on the actual truck, but I'm really happy with the way that turned out. It's got some simulated shadows and whatnot. And we've got the Bricker logo out front.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, in this case, it's not a striker, it's a Bricker. the everyday go-to. What words we use.
Yeah, no kidding. Brick. That's all right. That's the entire community. That's not just
not
us.
just us.
Brick puns are absolutely everywhere. So, but very,
So there you
very
go.
cool. Yeah. Anything else you want to go over, or are we good to wrap it, you think?
I think we're good to wrap.
Okay, fair enough. Well, Slam, thank you very much for joining me, and thank you very much for watching the Designer Studio episode on the Kennedy Space Station Fire Striker.
All right. Thanks, Dylan.